Tiffany.
I'm Liz.
I'm Danielle.
And you just took a look at some of our free comic book day footage. We've gotten home, had an opportunity to read some of the titles, and we're going to talk about them from the perspective of not really being into mainstream comic books at this point, and how well they did it persuading us to buy more. What are we going to start with today, guys?
It was not well.
Just kidding. I think we're going to start with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It was put out by IDW. And what did you guys think?
Well, I like the fact that they put out a full issue. Not a lot of the comic book companies did that this year. You saw a lot of samplers, you saw a lot of like sneak peeks at certain stories, and that I never really had like a lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic experience whatsoever. I watched the show when I was a kid. I've seen a couple of the movies, and I've played some of the video games. You know what? I gotta say, it was much better written than any episode that I have ever seen of the show. So from that angle, I enjoyed it a lot.
It was a lot of fun. Like, I liked the kind of the twist on like the situation. Like, it wasn't a very like kind of typical one for them. I mean, it was kind of what I expected, but it was still like pretty enjoyable. And it had its kind of quirky fun side, and it was good.
I think it was like a nice little one-off. I mean, I have the same kind of experience as you do with the Ninja Turtles. Didn't really read the comics, but saw the cartoon and the movies and played the video games growing up. I think that if, I was just kind of hanging out and I needed something to read, I'd pick it up, but I wouldn't go out of my way to pursue this as like a comic I would follow.
Definitely, this is, out of the ones that we're going to be talking about, this one was definitely written, I think, a little more for kids, being that it's not in the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle like comic line, and it is from the animated show. I did take that with a grain of salt. However, I don't feel like it really talked down.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't feel like I was necessarily reading a kid's comic book. I was just aware that this is clearly, it had, a whole life lesson in there, very, like, it really did remind me of the show to some degree, where I was just like, this is like a self-contained little story here where I, as a child, would read this and get a little lesson out of it, So I did like that. I liked it a lot. I really was distracted by some of the designs. I know they've redone them. Raphael, Leonardo look great. They look like just a new version of the old model, like thing I'm used to. And then Donatello and Michelangelo. Oh my god, Donatello's got like the diastema, and his head's like a dome, and like every panel with him, I was like, oh my god, what?
You know whose design I really enjoyed though? I really liked how they decided to do Master Splinter.
Me too, yeah. I really liked that as well. He looked good. He's more epic to some degree.
He's more active.
He's much more in that sensei role.
Yeah, he looks really wise.
I like that. I like that a lot. But if they could just do something about making Donatello not look so odd man out.
Yeah.
Michelangelo's like the link between the other brothers and him. But if they could just get him more to the Michelangelo side, I might even consider picking it up again. Just like, if they came out in a trade and maybe there was a sale at the store, I might think about it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, no, I'm probably not going to be picking this up in the store, like, when I go. I'm probably not going to be like, oh, where's the next Ninja Turtles? But hey, that was fun and good work, and I think kids who get this are going to want to read more, especially because they didn't do like an ongoing story. So, I mean, I'm sure like they will do that in other issues, but I think for kids it's a little easier for them to just pick this up and then just keep rereading it if they don't get to the comic book store a lot. But that's just, kids like to just reread things anyway, and like this is a really great example of something that would work for that. So all in all, like, did it sway me? Not really, but it was fun.
Yeah, it was enjoyable, but I think just kind of leaving it as is. It was good.
Just kind of put that right there.
Which uncovers our next book.
Superman, the Last Son of Krypton, special edition from DC Comics.
I like the Superman.
You like the Superman?
Yeah, he's got a really good like attitude to him that I enjoy.
Yeah, he still has that, wholesome, like, all-American feel to him without, like, beating you over the head with it. And I appreciate that. I really do. That's something about Superman I can never, ever get behind him most of the time. There's very few Superman comics I've ever read where I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. Yeah. I mean, I loved All-Star Superman. Favorite Superman book ever. But this, maybe it's because of the nature of the story where it's putting him in this more human role. It is definitely mirroring his experience with, like, Ma and Pa Kent. That's making me feel a closer connection with him. I don't know.
Yeah.
It definitely makes him more accessible, which I like. Like, I've never been very much for superhero books, and I've always, like, I know who Superman is. He's part of American culture. but he never really kind of piqued my interest. But I was surprisingly interested in this story, and I think the cover art is great, and the interior art is also pretty solid. It was a little angular in certain areas for me, but the writing was good. I was able to get past that. This actually kind of pushed me in a direction where I might pick up another one of these.
I might go back for this.
Yeah.
You talked about the artist. That's Adam Kubert.
Nice.
New Jersey Pride, Kubert School right down the road. And he does a really good job.
Yeah.
I gotta ask you guys, what do you think of the new costume, though? I know this is like, everyone's been talking about this for like a year now, but still.
I like it.
You like it?
I do.
Is it terrible that I actually didn't really notice?
No, I think that speaks to the fact that they didn't shove it in your face.
Yeah.
Like, now that I'm looking at it, I'm just like,
I just realized his crotch isn't red.
Now that you point that out. I'm noticing, like, the little bit of piping and the collar is different.
Yeah, the collar is cool.
I don't mind the detailing on the arm so much. The collar, I'm thinking, is a little 1990s, early 2000s prom for guys.
It does. It almost looks like a priest collar, but I know a lot of the superheroes in the redesign got something similar to that. They're just trying something new.
Yeah.
They're trying to separate them from their original incarnation. I think it's a good idea that they redesign them? Definitely. I don't know. Like, I don't know how I feel about it 100%.
There we go.
I definitely respect.
Oh, no, in the book he has...
Oh, no. Well, that's confusing.
Yeah. Interesting point, none of us
not knowing
until now.
where this book falls into the new continuity of Superman. I don't know why he suddenly has those back, but maybe that's why we didn't notice it quite so much.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop looking at that cover.
Yeah.
I do like the cover a lot.
Yeah, the cover's really well done.
Well, we all know that cover art can differ pretty greatly from interior art.
And I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just, I hate to say it, but like, being female, do I like when there's like punching and fights and such in comics? Yeah, I really do.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot in here, which was kind of okay.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's just because of the content having to do with a child and like, that gets you inside like, or what, but like, I really liked it. Like, I would like to see more. I wanted, like, there's a mystery they built up here.
Yeah.
They left it at a really great, really strong point for me to be like, number 2. Oh, I see number 2 in the store. I will probably consider picking it up.
I found the pace was really quick. Like, it started and then boom, 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 boom.
But it made sense. Yeah. It wasn't just like, what?
Yeah, yes. I don't know how we got from here to here. Like, it was... Yeah.
I know you, but I'm sure both of you not, like, huge Superman fans, but they did manage to put all of the names you would probably know in here without it being forced. You got Lex Luthor, you got Lois Lane, you got Jimmy Olsen, you got Perry White in there. And so, I would consider it, and, not knowing anything about this, I would recommend it to others. Like, if you want to jump on board with Superman, this isn't a bad place, honestly. There was nothing in there where I was like, what's happening? I couldn't possibly comprehend this. It was just more like, new story here, I guess, starting up. Yeah, I'll check it out.
And I don't know about you guys, but probably... Even though I like Superman, my favorite read out of the ones that we're talking about right now is Judge Dredd from IDW.
Now, this is Judge Dredd Classics. I was looking in the back, and what I think is going on here is that they've taken the original Judge Dredd and recolored them. I don't know that 100%. That's just kind of what I got from it. So we're reading some of the original Judge Dredd tales. And this one, they just threw into the deep end of the pool, and my experience with Judge Dredd, I'm sure like everyone else at this table, is the Carl Urban movie and part of the Sylvester Stallone movie. So I don't know much about this, and they just threw us in there with Judge Death.
Who is an amazing character.
Yeah.
The character design on him alone is pretty fantastic. I got really distracted by the elbow guard made of fingers.
There's something, the panels are just chock full of things to look at.
Yeah, there's a lot to look at.
The art matches this story perfectly. The story is over the top, and the art is definitely over the top, but in a really great way.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you caught this, the officer that's in here, the other judge, the Psy judge, or whatever it was, is Judge Anderson, who was the blonde in the movie, and I was like, I I guess they did actually. Not having ever read a Judge Dredd comic ever, I was like,
Yeah.
I guess she actually was pulled from something else. Looks totally different.
Yeah,
definitely better in the movie.
I have to agree.
This comic establishes that I guess there are aliens in the Judge Dredd universe, or things from another
dimension.
I was a little confused, but because of the fact that it's a Judge Dredd comic, I didn't really question it because I know it's a little tongue-in-cheek to begin with, and it's just like a fun ride. Like, you're like, okay, what's next?
I know that one of the things that we discussed when we were originally reading it was how it was written, and how it's kind of, you have to take it with a grain of salt because it's written by, for those of you who don't know, like a British writer for an American audience the way he thinks we talk. So there's a little bit of a disconnect, but it's actually kind of fun. Like, we get to see what they think our slang looks like. And it's kind of like reading any other book in a different kind of dialect in a way where it takes a little getting used to, but once you're into it, it's fun, it's kind of kitschy.
Yeah, like trying to figure out what some of their slang terms meant. Like, after they used it a few times, I'm like, oh, okay, I think it's this. I'm just gonna go with it. But the thing that really made me laugh every time was the little narrative, like, boxes at the top. Because to me, it was just like, every time it was like, later. Yeah. Like, every time I read it, that was the voice I read it as. And I was like, this is not what was intended, and I know that's not what it was. But that's the only way that I could read it, was as though I were getting this old 1920s, 1930s radio report. It did pace the comic bizarrely. But again, I don't know why it didn't really bother me so much, and I don't know if it's just because of the name on the front of the book.
I think we all kind of know that, like, you just kind of take this as is. Like, maybe if you're more well versed in the Judge Dredd universe, you're going to be a little bit more critical, but overall, I think this was just a lot of fun. It was pretty ridiculous, and I would probably read another one.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're probably aiming to put out trades of this. I would probably pick it up in trade. I think that's where I would want to see it. Just get it all together, because clearly I'm sure they're going to be like small stories inside that. I don't really know how they're going to put that together. But I think I might want it. I'd rather do that than pick it up in issue form. I did have one small problem with the book, and it's really stupid, but there were certain panels, because every judge who is male seems to have the same chin. I wasn't quite sure who was talking. I'm like, I was trying to look back, and I was like, does Dredd have a different uniform? Because I know in the Sylvester Stallone movie, he had a way different uniform than the other judges did for some reason. But no, like that one, when they were in shadow, and you could just see like just the chin area talking, I was like, I'm not 100% who's saying certain things, and I'd have to go back and try to figure out the conversations.
Did you look for the one who's frowning the most?
I did not. That really should have been what I did. But that's it. Like that's essentially it. If this is the recolorization, like I think it might be. I liked it. I liked it a lot. It's very moody. It really fits it.
Yeah, the tone's really.
I really, I like the way it looked. It's funny. Like the format itself is weird. It's shorter than like the regular pages. If a comic book doesn't fill up the whole area. But you know what? It was just a lot of fun. And I think we all enjoyed it. I know this is the one that made us each like laugh while we were reading it. So I would definitely recommend that if you have never read a Judge Dredd comic, maybe you go out and you pick up an issue to start with, and then maybe you check out the trade, because it is a hoot. So that is it, unless you guys have anything else to say.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, that was a few of our picks from Free Comic Book Day. Thanks for joining us. I'm Tiffany.
I'm Liz.
I'm Danielle.
And may the 4th be with you.
This just in.
It turns out our Free Comic Book Day issue number 1 of Superman Last Son of Krypton has nothing to do with the New 52. We've just found that out. We've totally wrong. We have been hoodwinked. We have been bamboozled by DC. This is a reprint from a run of Superman from like 2006 and 2008, written by Jeff Johns and Richard Donner, who is the director of Superman 1 and 2. So that says a lot about DC's decision on Free Comic Book Day. Instead of giving us a story from the New 52, they decided to reprint something, and that either says, hey, we don't think the New 52 is going to be strong enough to make you buy Superman, or it says Superman, the movie is coming out, and this story is going to bring you a little closer to that sort of like family storyline, because like in this new Superman movie, we're definitely going to be seeing him growing up again with like Mom Pa Kent, and I'm wondering if they're using this to draw you into that. Now, I feel like now, especially if I had not found this out and I went into the store and I picked up number 2, or I picked up a Superman comic, I would be really annoyed, because it's like, where was the book I read on Free Comic Book Day? And then, of course, my comic book retailer, Steve Conti, would be kind enough to go and order that comic for me if he could get it in trade. But that does kind of annoy me that they would slap the cover with a New 52 art piece, and then...
Which makes sense why
the costume doesn't match.
Completely
exactly. How do you guys feel about that switcheroo?
Not cool.
Yeah, I feel a little lied to, DC.
Yeah, you had me. You had me. I was like, Superman, cool, that's awesome.
Wow, so from 2006?
No, and we've been told by, Little House's own resident comic book guy, Sal Crivelli, that Superman and Lois Lane are not married in the New 52 at all.
Mind blowing.
Yeah, exactly. He's apparently dating Wonder Woman. I guess it makes a little more sense.
Yeah.
She could take it.
Yeah.
It's all where our minds go immediately.
Automatically.
You can really give it to her.
Give her the old...
So that has always been a relationship where I was like, how did that not happen? So I guess they're showing us that in the New 52, but I'd rather read The Last Son of Krypton. That's the story I'm much more interested in. But at least now we know we could just pick it up all one thing.
Yeah,
we don't have to wait, so that there is
all there.
A silver lining to this rain cloud.
Is there any...
My consolation is like, well, I don't have to wait for it to come out. I can just buy full story, one shot.
So essentially we have two stories here that we can pick up, or 2 books that we can pick up in trades immediately. So that's kind of fun. That's good. But DC, boo on you. Boo on you. You shouldn't have done that. I don't want to be fooled.
Yeah.
Don't want to be fooled.
Respect your customers.
You're trying to get new people in on Free Comic Book Day. That's what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And yes, I do want to read The Last Son of Krypton.
It is bait and switch.
It is the bait and switch. The cover baited and switched us with a fun story.
Yeah.
So we kind of won, but
we didn't. Yeah. That's so fun.
That's what you made us look like fools. But anyway, once again, thanks for joining us here on our Free Comic Book Day Comics Roundup without Sal Crivelli.
Yeah.
I'm Tiffany.
I'm Liz.
I'm Danielle.
And coming for you, DC.